Alright, so here we go. Here's the tfod-jr shift kit. It outlines that once you have the valve body in pieces, okay, it gives you a list showing where the check balls go here in white. Alright, and it shows you here that on this section you need to go ahead and drill some holes. You can drill either one or two holes here. I recommend drilling 2 holes because the one hole really didn't make a change in my opinion. I drilled both of the holes, and actually every hole I drilled it to 3/32, which is equals to about 0.094 inch hole that it calls for. So a 3/32, very common bit, very easy to obtain bit. Use a brand new one. Use that to go ahead and drill the 2 hole. Actually drilled 1 hole, which I drilled 2, and then the rest of the holes in the separator plate or what have you, I went ahead and used that exact same drill bit for everything. One step here is to file a notch across the bore from where this valve goes in. This is where one of this big old valve here, I believe it by memory here. This big old valve up top here is where that went across, from what I can remember. Pull it out. Get yourself a big old flat file, maybe about 2 inches or so across, maybe about like a 1/4 inch thick. Of course, they're usually about 7-8 inches long. Standard, file. Stick that up against the side. Use that really narrow part of its side to create that notch, which goes about halfway through the wall thickness. And it says that it's not fussy, meaning that it doesn't have to be exact. You just need to get it as close as you possibly can. If you go a little too little, a little too much, it's not a big deal. It's not fussy. Okay. Another portion here of your instructions is to go ahead and place in your new manual valve. Now, after creating all that shrapnel from these 2 drilling procedures, both the one for the overdrive lockup and for the notch, you're going to want to spray that out with a whole lot of brake cleaner or carb cleaner, or compressed air. I chose to go with the carb cleaner just because I like the liquid factor of washing out the actual debris. So I went that route. And brake cleaner does dry everything up, so if you're not going to put everything back together immediately, rinse it down with transmission fluid to prevent corrosion, and then store your pieces. Here's where you put in your brand new manual valve, which is going to help with your drain back qualities and your reverse and so forth. There's the little notch that you drilled in there, that you cut in there with the file. Put your new manual valve. And you had to take off this whole shifting assembly, the whole rooster comb assembly. All that had to come off before you were able to get to this step. You had to remove the E-clip and pull everything apart. Okay. Now, this is basically the designating the reinstallation of the rooster comb and so forth. It tells you about the mumbly peg, the ball, and the spring detent. And the fact that you need to use this mumbly peg to hold the spring ball in there. That's why when you put this rooster comb back into the hole here, you can actually be able to do it without this little ball giving you a great pain in the butt. So what you're going to do here is when you're installing that together, lock your ball back with your mumbly peg, put your little rooster comb assembly on there. Now the little rooster comb has a little arm right here. This little tiny little arm here at the top goes in between this little piece here of the manual valve. You got to make sure you line that up in there, adjust it, pull it out, make sure it lines up in there. Get yourself a big old socket that fits over the center piece here. All right, put that socket over there, put it on top here. This mumbly peg is going to be there. This mumbly peg is going to drop out when you hammer on that socket, and what it's going to do is it's going to set the crow's foot or the rooster comb. The rooster comb is going to drop down. It's going to engage here with this piece over here, and it's going to knock out this mumbly peg, and then this little ball is going to stay put. Okay. So just give it a light tap with some kind of a hammer, and it'll drop out the mumbly peg. You can fish out the mumbly peg later, and then you'll have your rooster comb installed. I'm going to make another video here.